everybody. So how are you doing this fine Boxing Day as I'm doing this? But if you're watching it in the future, it doesn't matter. You're drawn to it now because this is the time, as I'm sure you'll see going forward. So I snuck out to Aberystwyth yesterday and sort of was in a little bubble with my good friend Sammy. There was a live video on Instagram actually yesterday with Sammy and I. I'm not sure what happened to mine, but you know, I'll see if I can find it and post it. I just couldn't make Instagram work. Crazy nuts. Anyway, while I was over there, I got this out of sight Christmas present, which is like the biggest tarot deck I've ever seen in my life, or held. It is huge. It's called the Sirian Starseed Tarot, and it's by Patricia Cori, who sort of devised it, and the artwork is by spiritual artist Alysa Bartha. There it is. Really amazing images. It's the sort of, you know, it bears a lot of relation to the traditional tarot, but the suits and the court cards and things have got different names, which is coolio, and I'm looking forward to working with it. But look how big it is. I mean, there's my hand and there's the cards, you know. They're absolutely ginormous. But I've got them out of the box. We'll have a look and see what we've got. And then we'll do a 5-card pick-a-card once we've had a look. Don't want to make this a massively long video today. Everyone's been watching lots lately, and I appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Really glad you guys would spend some of your Christmas with me. I've enjoyed spending some of mine with you. I really have. Big plans coming up, actually. I've sort of gathered just about enough stuff to make a kind of what I think is going to be a better looking studio. You know, my videos are always shot in different rooms and different places, and got a fantastic new backdrop, and you know, I'm redoing the lights, and there's a new microphone coming as well, because when I go over to the tarot table, which I intend to do in a minute, it's just kind of hard. The sound just isn't very good. It's as if I'm in a different room or something. So jolly difficult to shuffle this deck, actually. I'm really not going to be going very quick, and it's lovely thick cardstock, which is wonderful because it's sure as hell going to last, you know, go the distance and work out and everything. But at the same time, it's not something you can fling about and fan together very easily. Probably Celtic Tarot Sheila will show me how it's done. She's very good at that kind of thing. Anyway, here's the booklet that comes with it. We've got this great meteorite zooming down to collide with the earth, and you know, reminds me a lot of something I occasionally say, which is an old and I think very true philosophy that God, or the divine, whichever way you want to see it, came down to earth as a glass ball and hit the earth and shattered, and we are all the fragments of that glass ball. This is more like a meteorite. So I should add, yeah, as the fragments of the glass ball, we're always trying to come back together again. That's kind of the point of that philosophy. So the Spiritual Starseed Tarot, it looks absolutely amazing. Here is the back of the book showing some of the cards. We've got Indigo Child there. We have got Strength, great big sort of fireball-y strength image there, massive. Incredible pendulum here for the Hanging Man, and this is a very interesting take on the Hanging Man, actually. Also Divine Justice there, again a very fiery scene. But yeah, I just want to pick up on this Hanging Man, which is being shown as a pendulum there, as you can see. Now that's really interesting, because of all the different things you can read into the Hanging Man, there is actually great potential in hanging around, in waiting for things to be right. Energy builds up while you're waiting. Energy, is spiritual energy anyway, is a conveyor belt kind of thing, and it's quite important not to hoard it up. But you know, sometimes we want to let the energy build up a bit before we use it. This is rather like putting a cloth over a crystal ball when it's not in use, because then, you know what, when you take the cloth off, you show that intention of actually, you know, using the energy that's built up in the ball, and you kind of let it out, you know, you set it free, and that intention really does carry through. So I'm really having trouble shuffling this deck. We'll have a look at a couple of cards out of it. I'm going to pull 2 or 3 out. You can read the cards if you like as kind of being significant, but I am going to go over to the table in a second and do a 5-card pick-a-card session. But just randomly, the 10 of Flames has come out there. See, we've got different kind of different energies associated with the suits to usual, but the traditional way of the tarot is definitely involved here. I haven't got my traditional dirty fingernails today, actually, I'm happy to say. I just got some nice dry logs that are burning happily and keeping me warm, which didn't get me all dirty because they're usually covered in mud. Okay, screen's reflecting in that a bit there, but a very fiery image, you know, and as it's the Ten of Flames, you can see the torches over, there's this torch here, a flame and blazing, but these torches here aren't actually doing anything yet. They need to be lit up, and so, you know, that there's that message behind this card in particular, that there's a lot of potential, you know, there's 10 torches worth of potential, either hurtling towards you or actually there in your life now, and you need to light them. You need to kind of flick the switch to make the electricity flow. Another of my favourite analogies, which I picked up in Sunday school a long time ago. We've also got a major arcana card that just popped out here. This one's called Reason. Looks like juggling balls, and reasoning things out is often like that. Sorry about the reflection of the screen coming through there. Just one of those crazy things. That looks a bit better to me. So I've got this sort of ancient, divine, spiritual wizard man here with his long white beard. I'm terrified of turning into that. That's why I have short hair and a short beard, because as I get older, I'm probably going to end up looking like that if I'm not careful. But he's there, and he's kind of hanging down this talisman thing here, swinging it about, and there's a ball of light round it. So as you reason things out, energy is coming in. That's a fact. That is so close to how it always works. Let's just split the deck and bring another one out. The Sage of Flames. Now, we have sages and adepts rather than knights and pages in this deck. Again, you can always read the traditional tarot into this deck. I've had a good look through it, and there's nothing in this deck which goes against the traditional wisdom of the tarot as it's always been. But it is a wonderful new take on it. Multi-armed figure here. This is like Shiva, really, isn't it, this picture? Flames coming from two of the hands, and other hands doing amazing things as well in this cross-legged meditational pose. So if you're actually trying to read these cards for yourself, great things are happening with this one, most certainly. Anyway, I seem to have slipped into reading them anyway, even though I wasn't going to. So let's go on over to the tarot table and take a look. We'll pick 5 out. We'll do a 5-card horseshoe and see where we're getting. So are you ready for this then? Eh? I'm not even sure I'm ready for it yet, but we'll have a look. We'll see what we've got with a quick drink of tea. That so helps. Okay, so look at this massive deck. I was watching some videos back the other day, just kind of doing some quality control, I suppose you'd call it. And it occurred to me that when I use this setup, my hand looks like Thing from the Addams Family. Do you remember Thing, the hand that lived in the box? But I can assure you I'm not Thing. Maybe I'm channeling my inner Thing here or something. Let's have another quick flip around of these just to make sure we've got them in some kind of order. Okay. Let's put one there, heart of the matter. Let's put another one there. These are so big. I don't believe it. Right. I'm not even sure these are all going to be on camera, actually. I might have to come back to this and change it at least a little bit. These are so big. Good gosh, I don't believe it. Right. What have we got here? Let's just keep moving pendulums and stuff around. And that was the one, I'm sure. So there's 5 there. I think we can just about see them, actually. These ones over here are kind of a bit, you know, the light's glancing off them rather a lot. But I haven't got studio lights on today. Here we are in the middle of, well, actually the end of December. The light is coming back in, obviously, after the solstice, because lights are really gleaming at the moment. But anyway, what is card number 1? If you chose card number 1, this is for you, because you can pick a card, or you can pick all 5 and go with the horseshoe we've got here. Okay, so card number 1, Indigo. And there it is. Let me just kind of bring it up in front of the camera a bit more there so you can see it. Indigo, well, this is one I brought out a second ago, so I haven't shuffled them all that well, I suppose, but it must be what's meant to be. Indigo child. Now, I've met many indigo children, or children who are said to be indigo children, that frankly were just obnoxious. And I expect you probably have as well. It's a kind of a thing that was... it was a big thing a few years ago, actually. Anyone who had a kid that was obnoxious would say their child was an indigo. But there really are indigo children, and some of those obnoxious kids probably were. I just don't think they all were. Very fiery, okay, but it's not flamey fire here. This is a kind of lightning-y type of fire coming out of the sky and connecting to this indigo. And this, if you pick this card, friends, it is a major arcana one here. It's got number 1. So essentially, it's the magician energy in terms of the traditional tarot. And this child has got all the tools he or she needs, because of the cosmic influences we can see sort of zapping all around his or her head, and he or she is holding up this amazing crystal here. And so this is telling you that you've got the tools you need, you know, everything is in place for you to actually go further with your spiritual journey. That is the extended meaning of this card. In fact, it's the whole meaning of this card, really. But we're seeing it as an indigo, and essentially an indigo child. So, as this is the magician card, it's number 1. It is very early in the major arcana, and this is saying to you that either you're early, if you're just starting your spiritual journey, great, it's going to go well, you've got all the tools you need. If you're an old hack and you've been like me and you've been doing this for a long, long time, then this card says there's another leg of the journey coming in, and you are actually going to make sense of it and get stuff done in a big way. Card number 1. Okie dokie, let's go on and have a look at card number 2. Sorry if my voice keeps coming and going. Oh, now this is a nice one. The Star. There it is, the Star. And says it all, really, doesn't it? Again, it's a major arcana one. It is number XV1117. I learned by Roman numerals when I was a kid, and I still know them. Number 17 here. So this is much further through the major arcana journey. This is really getting things done here. And the Star, it's all about... I mean, it has something to do with the same kind of meanings as the Temperance card in a way, because it has to do with nature and it has to do with magic actually coming out of nature. But we're right up in the stars here, and we've got this ancient Egyptian character holding the Ankh and the star coming down very close to the Ankh. Could be millions of miles away, but that's the magic of the universe, is it not? And a great bright star here. And I'm reading that as the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, which is actually still going on. It hasn't finished yet. They came to their absolute closest point on Monday the 21st, on the winter solstice, when we had that amazing live. And there will be another live coming soon, by the way. But right now I'm seeing that as very significant. It's got to be significant in everyone's journey, really, hasn't it? You know, a thing like that, it hadn't happened since 1623, and it's thought to have been the Star of Bethlehem. So great beginnings here. Even though we're at number 17, we're somewhere through the journey. Energy is coming in, big style, to get things moving. But this here, right? This kind of celestial cosmic chariot thing is reminding me of those things that you use to chop herbs up, you know. It's kind of a half circle, sort of crescent moon shaped blade with a handle at each end. And you chop up the herbs and you release all the goodness. And this to me looks like it's kind of chopping up the celestial energies without damaging them. It's like non-invasive chopping up. And it's letting all the goodness out. It's letting the goodness flow into your life. So if you picked card number 2, that is where it's at, my friends. But if you picked all 5, and we'll do the others in a minute, then that also very positive, because we've come from indigo here, the indigo child, the magician with all the potential stored up, to stuff really happening. We're really cracking on with the journey here. What are we going to get for card number 3? This is the heart of the matter. Okay, if you picked all 5, and if you picked card number 3, this is for you. It looks to me a lot like the Hermit. It's number 9, so I'm going to say it is. But it's called Reflection in this deck. And you know, if you've got a really brightly coloured jersey or something, you know, a top, brightly coloured, luminous top for Christmas, then no doubt you'll enjoy sitting and reflecting while you wear it, because you'll be reflecting. But this is reflecting within yourself, okay? This is holding up the lantern to really look deep within yourself, and this is an important thing to do spiritually. It feels like it's all kind of me when you're thinking about doing that. But in reality, all the kind of cosmic influences that are going on out there in the universe, everything to do with God that's so kind of crazily important and powerful and energetic, links to something we've all got within ourselves, which is equally amazingly powerful and energetic. This is rather like the third eye, which is marked out on his head here, the forehead chakra, as it were, because that looks within, and it looks down at the pineal gland deep inside the human brain, which so there's all kinds of science going on. You know, people aren't entirely sure exactly what it does scientifically, but this ain't science. This is all about the spiritual side of things, and that really is what the pineal gland is all about. It sums it up. It's kind of the God sensor in the brain. And I once heard a very serious scientist who didn't believe in spiritual things in any way at all, saying that if he did believe in God, and if he followed those philosophies, if he was God, surely he'd put some kind of sensor into the human mind so that God could actually talk to us. So there we go. Now, I know I'm talking to people who don't like to see this in terms of there being an almighty, divine, powerful God, and that's really not what I'm trying to say when I talk about God. It's just a word which sums up to me all the important, all the amazing, divine, cosmic energies. And, you know, to try and put a word to a thing like that, it's virtually impossible to come up with the mot juste, as the French say, the just word, the word that actually fits it. So that's just a word I'm using in that way and in that sense. Anyway, did you pick card number 4? That's the question. Did you pick all 5? Did you pick like 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, whatever you picked? I don't know. It was entirely up to you. And, you know, you can be your own psychic. You can trust yourselves that you picked the right one out here. We've got the 7 of Flames. It actually came up inverted here. Okay, but I'm just going to turn it the right way up so we can actually see it, so we can see what's going on. And we've got this rather stunningly beautiful looking and well-dressed dancing lady here. And she's kind of dancing with the rhythm of life here, isn't she? And in terms of it being upside down, I'm going to say that if you picked this card, then you know, you need to get out there and start doing that dance, start making that stuff happen, okay? Because the celestial music is there. The celestial music is, that's my analogy of the energy of the 7 flames here. Now, we've got 6 of them down here, and she's holding the 7th one in her hand. So you need to activate that side of yourself if you just picked this card. If you didn't, then you know, we're getting on with the journey here, but this is something you are actually going to have to face up to at some point, just using all the energy, yeah? And there's a little analogy from my own life, and I do like to throw in analogies, as you know. I renamed the channel Andy's Readings. I've been thinking about that ever since. It's just kind of a week, and it sums up what I do, I guess. But I want to name more like kind of Mystic Merlin's Cosmic Predictions or some, you know, something crazy like that. I'm trying to think of one at the moment, so look out for a channel name change. Suggestions welcome. I can't guarantee I'll go with any of them, but suggestions are most definitely welcome. Because I need to turn this round as well. This is a really important thing for me to do. Actually make use of the flames of inspiration that are coming in at the moment. And actually kind of reveal my own inner name. You know, the spiritual journey is like revealing who you are within yourself. And the fire is here to burn away the outside. So I'm not going to put it down back to front, upside down as it came up. I'm putting it down like that because the intent is to change things around. So we've got this 7 of Flames energy. It's a number 7 in numerology. Nice magic number, very magic number indeed. So a lot of positive possibilities, a lot of good prospects showing through. If only we can take the card from being upside down, turn that energy round, get all 7 torches going, get one in your hand, dance with the rhythm of life, And, don't worry if that pulls you away from your path, because as you sort of go from side to side in the dance of life, you're always bringing in new energies. So says Thing from the Addams Family. Right, okay, so card number 5. If you picked card number 5, this is your card. If you picked all 5, then this is the outcome. And what have we got? It's upside down again. It's the 5 of Chalices. That is to say, it's the 5 of Cups, really. Now, this relates to a bereavement in lots of ways, and I don't necessarily mean that someone has actually passed away and gone out of this life. Because it came out upside down, we're going to look at it in a slightly different way in just a second. But first of all, let's look at this amazing take on the 5 of Cups. This isn't a new deck, by the way. 2 people have owned it before me, and I've kind of smudged it and cleansed it and everything to make sure it's all coolio and going to work for us nicely. So this isn't a new deck, but it's one I'd never seen before. Maybe you've seen it before, maybe you haven't. Maybe you've even worked with it, friends. I don't know, but it's new to me, so I'm kind of pulling out these meanings from it as best I can. Traditionally, the 5 of Cups would mean that you've been through some kind of bereavement situation, maybe something like the 3 of Swords, where you've just been kind of stabbed through the heart and everything's changed. The significance of this card is that you need to keep moving forward, because there are 3 chalices in the water tipped up, and all that water has just gone into the river. It no longer exists as potential specifically for you, but you do still have 2 full cups, 2 full chalices here, okay? And since they've spilt into the river, let's bear in mind that when we get knocked off balance, when something happens that has that bereaving kind of effect on us, that energy doesn't just die, it goes on, and it becomes available to everyone. So in that sense, it's still available to you. Traditionally, with the 5 of Cups, we'd say, kind of get on with life with the 2 chalices you've got. Don't worry about the 3 that you feel you've lost, because that energy is still there for you and will come back. But it came out upside down. So if you picked card number 5, friends, I'm going to see this a little bit like the 9 of Pentacles. I'm going to say things are going well, but you need to just kind of look back and think, have you left someone out? Have you left something out? Is there some energy or some people missing from your life, something that you need to actually connect with and bring into your spiritual journey to really make things work for you? That is so worth thinking about, because we very often have to do a cord cutting exercise as we're on our spiritual journey. Those cords will actually grow back if they're from something important, and if we've left someone or something behind because of cutting the cord and we've made the progress, then sometimes to make the full journey we need to encourage those cords to grow back. That's just something to think about. That's a very kind of contemplative view of this card and of whatever's going on in life here. But as always, we want to turn this energy round, and we want to get into this position where we've got what it takes to actually go forward, because we don't need 5 whole cups, we just need these 2 cups: longings, desires, the things we want, the things that we're going to seek in this life. Well, isn't this just true of life? You have all these goals, you never know which goals you're going to end up actually making the most of. Some people get obsessed with well, if I want something, I'm going to blinking well get it, and they will keep on chasing after these 3 chalices, to the exclusion of these 2, which are actually full of potential. This says that maybe not all of your dreams are going to come true, but at least 2 of them are. And again, because it came upside down, that isn't necessarily strictly the case, but that's where you're going to need to be. That's what you're going to need to be taking notice of when you go through the journey that we've got here. So I think we'll make, before I actually sat down, I just forgot to tell you, but I made the intention of this your spiritual journey through the next 12 months. And I must put that in the title, because I really should have said that up front. And I forgot, because I haven't drank enough tea. Still haven't drunk enough tea, but that'll keep me going. So, there you have it, yeah? Indigo Child, the Star, Reflection, essentially the Hermit, 7 of Flames, and the 5 of Chalices. So, 5 different kind of new takes on the tarot deck there. There'll be more of them because I'm going to use this deck a lot. I really like this deck. I'm going to be getting to grips with it. You'll see it in the live videos, stuff like that. Now, it is nearly a week since I did the live video on the solstice, so there is going to be another live again soon. I'm sure of that because that's my spiritual journey, you know. And anyway, I'm going to try and rig up a bit of a new studio for that and make things a bit different. So what did you think of that? Hey, I'm impressed with this deck. I'm really looking forward to working with it. I like the image on the back as well. We got it's that way up really. We've got this triangle, you know, and it's a sort of a love triangle with us and the different forces of the universe blending in with it. That is so much the spiritual journey, and it's so much the nature of the nuts and bolts that hold our lives together, isn't it? So yeah, I'm quite impressed with this deck. Oh, I've got to show you this one that just dropped out. 8 of Crystals, and it's Glastonbury Tour. If you're in UK, you might very well have been to Glastonbury Tour. I have. I had an amazing awakening there, actually, and I've still got some crystals that I bought in the little shop in Glastonbury Village. There's a big, it's got quite commercial now. It is a small village, but there are an awful lot of spiritual shops there. And there are many tarot readers, there are many psychics there. It's a very powerful place of energy, and that is actually St. Michael's Church Tower. The rest of the church is completely gone. There's just that tower standing there on the top of the tour, and amazing mystical things happen in that tower. There are no floors in it. You can actually see right out to the night sky, and on a clear night it's great to be up there. It's a big climb, but it's really, really worth it. 8 of Crystals. Okay, well, I wasn't going to pull any more cards. I've already done them, but I guess this is a significator for that reading and for the fact that I'm going to be using this deck going forward. 8, very positive. Heaven and earth coming together, as they actually do on Glastonbury Tour. And it's not the only place in the world, but it's extremely powerful. There's been things going on there for 5,000 years now. Goes right back to the time of Stonehenge, and maybe even beyond. There's a link to Jesus. Joseph of Arimathea went there, meaning that Jesus might have gone there. That's a long story. I'll have to make a whole separate video about that. I might have made a video about that already, actually. But yeah, 8 of Crystals. Bring those, these crystals represent spiritual forces that you've actually got within you. And that's what happens on Glastonbury Tour. You know, your own spiritual forces come out. And this top one here that he's holding up is fitting perfectly into the doorway of St. Michael's Tower there. And this, you know, you'll find that some part of your spiritual mission actually fits perfectly into both your life and the heavenly plan, the divine plan, what it's all about. Okay, so we will leave that one there, friends. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to have the Christmas tree in too many more videos because I think we've just about all taken Christmas in the head by this point, have we not? Hope you've had a good festive season, though. Anyway, I've had a pretty good one, to be honest. Been a bit crazy because of, you know, restrictions and no one's been here. But I went out yesterday, had a great couple of hours in Aberystwyth with Sammy, and now I'm back to life, back to reality. But the thing to do is make that reality really good. Make that reality your 8 of Crystals situation, friends. Okay, I know you can, and I know you will, and I'll be back again very soon with more stuff. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, or you'd like to buy the channel a coffee, all helps with kind of buying new stuff, got a new microphone coming, things like that, then visit my coffee page. The link is the first one underneath the description there. Check out all the other good stuff as well as the Instagram link, the Facebook link, the Reddit link, and I don't do anything like enough with Reddit. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to do that. And it's all happening down there. Leave me a comment. Always great to share the journey, as we've shared the journey today. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed this one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. It makes all the difference in the world to this channel, and it tells the algorithm it can go and get stuffed, and it needs to do more spiritual stuff. So show the algorithm what it's all about. Hit that subscribe button, tap that bell. Thank you very much for all your Christmas wishes, actually. That's made my Christmas loads more enjoyable. In the meantime, have a fantastic time ahead. I will be back with more readings soon. We'll be live again soon. Look out for those. I love doing the lives because I can actually do readings for you one-to-one and actually get personal messages out there. So take care of yourselves, friends. Have a great whatever's left of the festive season. I will say Happy New Year, but I'll be saying that a few more times before we actually get there. So yeah, all the best. Love, light, blessings, and peace.